All righty. So T, simple masking.
Action script 3.
Sure. All righty. So, Creative Lash, create an action script 3 document. Call it simple masking or T-simple masking. And then at this point, create a simple animation. We're just going to do one of our moving circles or moving squares or anything. You know, a classic tween. Going to start on frame 1, go to frame 60. So, file new, action script 3, file, save as,
Simple masking.
T-simple masking. All right, so draw something on frame 1. Doesn't matter what it is. I think I'm going to make mine a hexagon. I didn't draw it in object mode, so I'm going to delete that.
You're in Essentials, right?
Yeah, well, I'm in whatever I've defaulted to. Classic. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to choose my drawing tool. Just going to make it a square. And then choose object drawing on. So ball in the box is all lit up. Draw something. Then go out to frame 60 and insert a keyframe. Move our dude over there. And then insert a classic tween. So the same business that we've been doing since our very first class.
Any key between.
Yep. And then right click and do classic tween. Yep. All righty. That's pretty boring.
Fantastic.
So what we're going to do is we're going to provide some masking. And masking is like cutting a hole in cardboard, and the only part of that object that you can see is through the hole. And we've kind of done masking a little bit in Illustrator. So add a new layer, name it mask, and drag it above layer 1. So add a new layer, double click on the word layer 2 and call it mask. If you're feeling it, you can go ahead and lock layer 1 just so we don't accidentally make any changes there. I would do that, lock layer 1. Kind of take note of where your object begins and ends. Just kind of memorize where they begin and end. So on frame 1 of your masking layer, and again, let me check the instructions. I don't want to improvise or deviate from the script one little bit. Okay, use the paintbrush to draw a thick squiggly line. Now they added a different kind of paintbrush. Do I remember which one it is? Let me test it real quick. Sorry, guys. The brush tool works. Okay, let me undo all those changes. Okay, so choose the brush tool. Modify the instructions to say that.
Does it matter what color?
Nope, doesn't matter what color.
My field color won't open up.
But does your square or whatever have a color?
My square does.
Good. Okay, so grab the brush tool, and then you ought to be able to double click on the fill color. I'm not sure about doing it over here, but here it is letting me change the color. And the color doesn't matter because that's like the stencil that we're going to cut out. You're not going to see the mask when we draw it. Now I have a dot up here that I didn't mean, so I'm going to delete that. But set the thickness of the brush a little bit thicker than what it is now. Right now mine is set for itty bitty. You see where you set the thickness of it? Right there.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit thicker. And you're just going to draw a line from where it starts off to about where it ends. Make it a squiggly line.
No, I don't see it. Thickness.
Do you see the other one that looks like shape? You have to have the brush tool selected before you see those things.
I got the brush tool.
And then do
I
you
got
see?
the paintbrush tool.
No, just choose brush.
Okay, now I see.
Yeah,
So you want us to
just a nice fat paintbrush.
brush size, right?
Right.
Okay.
All righty. Once you get your squiggle drawn, we're going to change this mask so it really is a mask. So right-click on the mask layer and choose Mask from the context menu. So come up here, right-click on the mask layer and choose Mask. And then play it.
Right-click on the mask.
Right-click on the mask layer and choose Mask from the menu.
You choose play.
Yep. Now let's get a background going.
Wow.
So you see what's happening? We're only seeing the object through that squiggle, just like that was a stencil. But it's a little bit more mysterious than that. Let's put a background on. So create a new layer, and I think we have to drag it to the bottom, right, for it to be a background. Make sure it is not indented under mask. So if it accidentally is indented under mask, pull it down so it's not indented under mask. And then just go and find a picture with Google and paste it in or something. All right, I'll be right there.
So you want to under mask, right?
Yeah.
Layer.
All the way at the bottom. Yep.
Right. You want to name it?
Call it background if you want. All right, so when I run it, we see that object, that red sphere, red rectangle or whatever it is, squiggling its way across the screen based on the mask. Let me come around now and get everybody going.
So and you want us to go get a...
Yeah, just go get a picture that you want to stick on the background layer. Okay, so I've got my background here. And I'm going to do something special. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a mask above it, and I'm going to make the background move underneath it. So I make a new layer, which I've already done, called layer 4. And I'm going to draw something on it, maybe just a round circle. I could change the color. The color absolutely does not matter. But you want it to be a solid color and not something weird like a gradient. And then just draw a shape. That's our mask, or it will be our mask. Now this shape happens to have a stroke and a fill. I'm not sure if that's going to mess us up or not. When I just demonstrated it, it didn't seem to, but I'm worried about that. I should probably remove the stroke. That's just my hunch. So I'm going to select the shape and remove the stroke, but it seemed to have worked anyways. Okay. So above my background, I've got a shape. Right click on layer 4 or whatever your layer is that's going to be your new mask and choose mask. So that background is tucked in, so it's indented underneath our mask layer. And now the only thing we see is what the mask allows us to see. The way I'm getting the background layer to show is if I click the lock, it previews the mask correctly. If I remove the lock, then I can actually see the background layer. Now for the effect I want of the stuff moving, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock my background layer, drag it so that, you know, kind of lined up with that circle. And then I'm going to go out to the last frame, create a keyframe, and drag it the other way, like that. Put a classic tween on it. And so you can kind of see what it's going to do, right? Once I relock it and it starts masking appropriately. There, like that. Now we kind of lost our pretty background when we did that, so then make just one more background layer and actually put, you know, your final background on it. You could just paste the same picture if you wanted to, although that would look pretty weird. So I'm going to go out to Google and get one more background. How about that one? That looks pretty cool. Right click, copy. And then I'm going to wander around and help everybody. So, uno momento. I've confused myself. And you're going, yeah, you confused me too. When I created a mask, it took the background and removed it from the mask. I should rename this layer the mask. Tuck my former background layer under the mask, grab layer 5 or whatever it's called to you and pull it down and to the left so it's not indented under the mask. And then I can paste my new picture there. Then when I run it, there we go. It looks kind of neat. I like that background. All righty, now I'm going to wander around and make sure everybody else followed because I did go off script at that point.
Wow, man, that was weird.
So, do we have time to do another masking assignment? Go ahead and do a save and a publish, you know, all that kind of stuff so that we have it ready to upload. You can upload this one. And let's go look to see what we want to do next. So refresh your Dropbox, see if you can find the one that says hide and show buttons. So create a new ActionScript 3 document. Name it JButtons. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a movie clip. Just as simple as we want. It can just be a moving star. That's what this is suggesting. So I'm going to close this document. I'm done with this one. File, new, ActionScript 3, file, save as, J, buttons. Okay, so insert new symbol. And although it's called buttons, the first thing we're going to do is a movie clip. So insert new symbol, make it a movie clip. Do we have a clever name for it? Let's go look. Yeah, give it the name My Movie. That's pretty clever. All righty. My Movie, and make sure the little type is set to movie clip. All righty. Now do our usual. I can't see, unfortunately, where my stage begins and ends. It doesn't really matter. What was I going to suggest that we draw? A star. Rotating star is what we're going to try to do, I guess. All righty. So just plop a star down on the screen. Remember how to draw a star? You choose the Polystar tool, but before you draw anything, you come over to Properties, and you don't see it. Okay, Polystar tool, and then choose Options, Properties Options. And choose Star. Just draw it kind of in the middle. And it should have been drawn in object mode, in ball in a box mode. Probably already is, since you drew your circles with that in the prior assignment. All right, then go out to like frame 20 or something and insert a keyframe. Wait. Maybe I'm going out of this step. All righty. Name it shape.
Name your layer shape.
Right click on the shape that you drew and convert it to a symbol. Make it a graphic. Okay, so right click on our star. Where's convert to symbol? Convert to symbol. Make it a graphic. And if my memory worked, it'd be astonishing. Name it shape. Okay, that's pretty boring. But why not? Shape. So over in my library, I've got a couple things going on. I've got my movie, which has got a shape in it. So double click on the gear symbol on my movie just to make sure that that's what we're editing and not the shape itself. Because if I was editing the shape itself, that wouldn't be what I wanted. Okay, so I'm now editing my movie. I can tell that because I see scene 1 here and I see my movie there, so I'm good.
I'm not getting that.
What are you not getting?
The whole left side.
Your work.
Right side. Yeah.
Workspace, I set mine to classic.
Mine's on classic.
And you can toggle between properties and library.
Okay. Library.
Okay, cool. And then double click on my movie to make sure that that's what you're editing. You have to do it on the gear sign because if you double click on a word, it wants to rename it.
Double click.
Okay, so we're editing my movie now. Okay. Right click on frame 20 and insert a keyframe. Okay, I have an obvious problem here. I'm calling it frame 20 in one place and frame 50 on the other. Let's change them all to frame 50. Okay, so.
Right click on one frame 50.
Right. Right click on frame 50, add a keyframe. And we're going to rotate it. From the modify menu, choose modify transform, free transform, and rotate the graphic. So modify, transform, your star better be selected. Modify, transform, free transform, and then just kind of rotate it a little. Maybe I have no idea how it's going to look when I'm done. And then do a classic tween. So now we have a star that's rotating. It's not going to look perfect, but it's just to have some kind of movie that's playing on the screen for our buttons to control. Does everybody have a rotating star? If not, I need to come help you. All righty. That was a thumbs up and not a please come help, right? Okay. All righty. Go back to scene 1 by clicking on the scene 1. Our star goes away, right? Because we have to drag it out. We have to drag the movie out onto the stage. So click on my movie and drag him out on the stage. And then test it out. Remember, if you hit this play button here, it doesn't do a darn thing because he's a movie. And for some reason, the little preview in here doesn't play movies. But if we hit command, return, we get to see our shape. Now, if we worked really hard, we could make it look nice, right? I didn't rotate it so that the star was pointing up each time. I could go and edit my movie to try to fix that. I'm going to double click on the movie. See, it starts off with a point going up. On this frame, it ought to also have a point going up to look nice. The likelihood of me getting it perfect is small, but okay, maybe that'll work. Okay, it's not perfect. It's really annoying trying to getting rotating objects to work perfectly. We could if we messed with it, and it's not worth the time to try to get it to actually be exactly in the center. Close. No, but it's still wiggling. Forget it. All righty. So click on scene 1, go back. We have our star out on here, and we need a button. This shows drawing a button again. Why don't we just grab a button from the button collection? So save ourselves a little bit of time, not have to draw the button again. So where do we find those? Oh gosh. It's going to take me longer to find it than the components. Okay, under window menu, components, grab the button and drag it out onto the screen. Then we're going to give that button a name. My hunch is that we're going to need more than one button, but let's take it slowly. So we have a button, and what name are we going to give it? We're going to call it B1 with a lowercase name. How do we name our buttons? You click on the button, you go to properties, and you change instance name right up there. So I have the button selected. I went to properties. I'm going to go to instance name and call it lowercase b1. And while I'm thinking about it, I need to delete the PDF out of the assignment folder, because if you copy and paste from the PDF, it messes the script up. But anyways, onward and upward. If you have the PDF open, close it and instead get the Word doc out. All right, drag another copy of the button on the stage. So open our components window back up. Window, components, grab the button, drag it back out, and label this one B2. So click the button, go to properties, go to instance name, and call it B2. All right, this word label is really lame, right? Let's give those better names. So come up to Window, Component Parameters. And where it says label, give it a better name. I don't know what I want them to call it. How about B1 and B2? B1, and then click on the other label and change it to B2. Now the label is different from the instance name, right? The label is what we see on the screen. And this instance name is what hooks it together in the scripting language in the programming. Okay. So is it going to do anything yet? No, because it's not scripted. But I do have two buttons on the screen. I can click them to my heart's content. They're not doing anything, but okay. We're now going to script the button, make it hide and show the movie. So we're going to create an actions layer like we've been doing with our scripts. And then there's some script down here that we need. I recommend copying and pasting it, but copy it from the Word doc. Do not copy it from the PDF. That's bitter experience, and I need to delete the PDF if it's still there. Okay. In fact, I'm sure it is. Okay, so create an actions layer, drag it above your movie layer. It's layer 2, probably. Double click it, choose action, or rename it actions. And now we need to edit the actions. we need to insert a script. So we right click on frame 1 of the actions layer. We could even lock the movie. We're not making any changes to it anymore. Oh, and by the way, the buttons ought to be on their own layer as well. And I forgot to do that, but it wasn't part of the instructions, so I don't care. Actions. Right click on the actions layer, frame 1, choose actions, and we need to put that script that's in the Word document. We could type it all in, but that's a lot of typing. And I forgot, I left off a step. We should have changed the instance name of the movie as well. So as soon as we put this script in there, we're going to have to change the instance name of the movie. But grab all that stuff, starting from the word stop all the way down to the closing curly brace. Just right click and choose copy. Go back to Animator, paste it.
Okay. Which one is that Word document you're using? Was that buttons?
Yep. Wait, let me go look. Let me make absolutely sure I'm speaking truth. We are in hide and show buttons.
Hide and show.
Hide and show buttons. Let me go find the Word doc that we want. And I'll delete the PDF while we're looking at it. /J buttons.
Okay, and we want the /J buttons doc.
Right.
124.2.
Yeah. So pop that guy open and then scroll down to the bottom of whatever page this is.
Okay, this is
Oh, it doesn't have page numbers, but anyways.
in the middle.
Yeah, step 20. Right. So copy all that stuff.
Copy.
Go back to Animator. Go to frame 1 of your actions layer. Right click, choose actions, and paste. But it's not going to do anything yet. If we run it, we're going to get an error because we didn't name our instant. We didn't name our movie anything. We're going to have to go and call it M1. So as soon as you get your pasting done.
Okay, I right clicked on the first frame and
you chose actions.
Actions. Okay, now what were you saying?
Now we're good. So I need to rename this star. I locked layer 1. I have to unlock it so I can do it. Use the black cursor to select it and then change his instance name to M1. Why? Because that's what the script is insisting on. If I go and edit the script again, let's take a look. If you click button 1, it's going to make the movie invisible. If you click button 2, it's going to make the movie visible. So M1.visible is equal to false. So hide movie M1. M1.visible equals true. And this is just programmerese. Will make the movie true, visible again. Let's test it out. If I haven't made any mistakes, I should be able to run it and click those buttons and hide it and show it. We could also make it stop and start the movie. I'm going to go off script of the movie, of the instructions now, because we always like doing that. All righty. So let's drag another button out that's going to stop the movie from playing. In fact, let's put 2 more buttons out. As a matter of fact, we could just copy these, right? I should have checked to make sure that everybody's star was disappearing and reappearing. Anybody stuck?
I didn't know. You said go to script.
I haven't added any scripting since the first one.
Pull your box back up.
Yeah, so my script should look just like the one that was in the Word document. I haven't changed anything yet. So then just test it, command return. One button should hide it, the other one should show it.
So we don't have to do anything?
And we're going to do a little bit more now, but as long as your star is hiding and showing, then we're good. So next step, let's copy those buttons. Copy B1 and B2. Just select them both and paste them and change their instance. All right, I'll be right there. And then change their instance names to B3 and B4. All right, I'll be right there. So for the benefit of the people watching at home, what we did is we stopped at that point and we will pick it up next time.